Week 9 the ELF. Man, it's a trap game for one team this week. One team better be on high alert this week in their matchup. Also, I got Isaiah Green, quarterback from the Rams, joining the show, and our media picker, Caleb Leach, Europe's elite Carolina Panther scout. Man, there's a lot to get into. Let's go!
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Base Coverage presented to you by Knoah Teamwear. I'm your host, Jamal Clay, and we hit week 9 in the ELF. A lot of great games as, you know, everyone's back and playing, and we got some slates on Saturday and some slates on Sunday. So a lot to talk about. Our guest player coming in today to chop it up a little bit. We have quarterback for the Istanbul Rams, the new Istanbul Rams, coming off their first victory last week. Isaiah Green coming in to chop it up a little bit. And then our guest media picker this week, we have Caleb Leach, not only scout for the NFL Carolina Panthers, but also part of Europe Elite that's doing a lot with helping kids get into college and playing ball. So here's a quick word from our partners over at Knoah Teamwear, and then we'll talk to Isaiah Green a little bit. Welcome back, everyone. Now we have our guest. We have our guest speaker today coming in to join Base Coverage to talk some ball. Quarterback from the Istanbul Rams, Isaiah Green. Isaiah, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's good, man? How you doing? I'm great.
I'm good, man. Can't complain. You're a little bit of a popular guy this week, huh?
Yeah, I've been trending up this week, man.
I hear you. Hey, so talk to me a little bit. How did Isaiah, how did Isaiah Green become the starting quarterback for the Istanbul Rams? What was the journey leading up to this point or a couple weeks ago before the signing?
Okay, so basically, like my last year in college, I still had one more year left to play in college, but I was actually about to transfer because something went wrong with my financial aid when I was at Tennessee State. So I ended up not being able to stay there because I didn't have no financial aid. I didn't have no type of assistance or nothing like that. So I ended up going back in the transfer portal again. So one day I tweeted something on Twitter about, like trying to get back into college, like anybody need an experienced quarterback, I can still play and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And the head coach from the team I played with in Serbia, somehow he ran across that tweet and he basically just like shot at me to come play out there. So when he did that, I was like, what, Serbia? I ain't know they play football in Serbia. Like, at that point, I didn't know nothing about football in Europe at all. Honestly, I didn't know about ELF, GFL. I didn't know nothing about nothing over here. So I went and looked into it, and I saw like some articles about him being hired as the head coach, and the team I was going to was like a pretty good team. They compete every year for the championship. So I end up, taking the opportunity, just a chance to travel the world and see different cultures and perspectives on how people live life outside of America. Yeah. So yeah, I went and did that. Long story short, basically to sum up that season, we went to the championship. I was the offensive MVP out there in the best import. So I got both of those awards. And my coaches there had some connections with some coaches in the ELF, and they wanted to see me play in a higher league because, they saw what I did in that league and they felt like it was just like maybe a little too easy for me. So they reached out to some teams, and Istanbul was one of the ones that was interested, and they hit me up, and I looked at everything. I looked at the situation, and I took the challenge head on. So that's how I became quarterback here.
Hey, it's crazy, having a similar situation with how I got to Europe and play ball. It's crazy what's waiting for you once you get out your comfort zone and you just take a chance, right? And now you're in a position where, young quarterback, obviously you still had a year of eligibility, playing, professional in Europe, but now playing in, one of the best leagues, regardless of who the team is. So it's crazy to hear that journey up to this point. And, as we head into that first game, you had a pretty good performance, 100 plus on the ground with a touchdown, 100 in the air. And beating probably the number 2 team in the league, the Barcelona Dragons. Take us into the locker room a little bit after the game. What did that win, like what type of impact did that win have on the players, the organization? Because it obviously was the first one of the league. They've been going through a lot up to this point. Take us into the locker room in terms of, what did that impact have on those guys and the team?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. That win had a huge impact on the team. Like just the mindset. And like I was just telling somebody else yesterday, like obviously I was new to the team. Me and the other imports they brought in at the midpoint, we was all new. So just us seeing everybody else, like the genuine happiness on everybody, like you could just look into their eyes and tell how much it meant to them to win that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that win had a huge impact. They was in there dancing, throwing water around. Like you would have thought we won the championship or the Super Bowl or something. But it was cool. It was cool. It was a good experience, man.
Hey, how come we see you on the TikTok dance?
Man, I was outside. I was in the locker room at that point. I wasn't even in the locker room.
They couldn't wait to get to that, huh?
Yeah, because I guess it was like a revenge thing. They did it to them after they beat them earlier in the season or something. So I don't know. I don't really know too much about it. But.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, well, that was definitely. Hey, I said this before. That win was not only good for you guys. It was good for the league in terms of where the Rams are coming from leading up to that point. Obviously, good for the organization, and good for the Dragons in terms of it might have. A team that may have slept on you guys, it might have woken them up a little bit. It's like, hey, this is the best league in Europe. Anyone can catch an L, any week. So that was a good win all around. Let's talk about this upcoming week. Obviously, this is going to be your second game for the team. You weren't there the last time they played the Hamburg Sea Devils, who went to the championship game last year. All right. Coming off this win versus Barcelona, obviously it's in the past now, right? We're looking forward, right? How does this Rams team bounce back from a game that they had last time against the Sea Devils, where they got blown out 70-0? How what's playing the Sea Devils this week? How does this team bounce back and look forward into this game?
Well, first of all, we want to just build off of that momentum from the last week when it's in the past, that's still, that momentum still is still with you, what I'm saying? You still thrive off that and give you a drive to want to, practice harder and compete harder, So that's first. The second thing is a lot of people don't realize the last time they played them, it was only one American that played that whole game. You know what I'm saying? So we got one American on the field. They got however many they had out there. So, that's already an advantage right there.
Force, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then, with the new imports we brought in at the midpoint, I feel like when we all came in, we brought a fresh, new, positive mindset, you know what I'm saying? We came in believing and spreading it around, telling everybody, like, we're going to win games, you know what I'm saying? That's how we all came in. We telling everybody, we're going to win games. Like, trust me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to win. This is what you got to do. We're going to practice hard. And if you do this, and this, we're going to win games. You know what I'm saying? I can't promise we're going to win every game, but every time we step on the field, that's going to be our mindset that we're going to win that game. So I feel like that's huge. Those are a couple things that you need to bounce back. And honestly, it's just football. You got to have that dog in you. You got to go out there and believe that you can dominate the person on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, most definitely. And, even watching that game, you felt the energy, you felt the sense of urgency, you felt the grit that you guys were playing with. Like, this season, the Rams have been great for one quarter, and then it's been adjusting. It's been continuing to compete outside of the week one game versus Cologne, where they played all four quarters. The rest of the games, they've been fairly struggling to compete each game. But this past game looked totally different against the Dragons, and it looked like you guys wanted it more. So it would be fun to watch you guys now go season with a new type of energy and the new team that you guys have. So, so the European League of Football, right? Proclaimed best league in all of Europe. Watching from the outside, now playing. What would you say? Would you say that the ELF is the future of Europe?
Honestly, I feel like I don't really have enough experience in this league yet to be able to say that.
Yeah.
But I can say it's definitely a higher, different level of competition than what I was just playing in Serbia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, like I'm new to Europe in general, not just the ELF.
Yep.
So I haven't played in some of the other better leagues to be able to compare. But I like the way it's heading as far as just everything, from how they market everything, how it's operated, the professionalism. I would say it's the future just off of that,
Yeah. Last question, my man. Then we'll get you back to the things you got to do. I was doing some research a little bit, and even just talking to you a little bit. You have an interesting journey in terms of where you got to the point you are right now. When it's all said and done, what do you want your story to be?
Man, when it's all said and done, I just want to, at the end of the day, my mom passed away when I was 7 years old, and I never knew my dad at all.
Yeah.
So really, my mom is just everything I do is for her. That's the reason I started playing this game, to have a escape from reality and have something to do to make her proud and have accomplishments and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, that's really all I want. I want my life story to be about me personally, how I made her proud, and how I lived up to everything I know she would have wanted me to be. But outside of that, I honestly want to be able to give back and help people that was in situations like I was growing up, help kids that's less fortunate, that don't really have guidance, nobody to tell them, keep going, don't make these decisions. You don't have to do that. You don't have to hang around these people. You don't have to, get in situations that's going to lead you down the wrong path. So ultimately, that's what I want to be remembered as. Obviously I want to have a great football career, but that's not as important as making an impact on a positive impact on other people.
Most definitely, man. And that's almost like the greatest reward, the impact you have on others and, what you're able to get back just from your own life lessons. So I definitely hear where you're coming from there. But, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, short interview, but I like to chop it up with the guys. It was good to get to know you, get to know your story, and get to know your mindset and how, your impact alone and your other guys as well has, changed the mindset of the Rams organization. So, like I said, it's good for the Rams, good for the league. And, I appreciate you coming on. This won't be the last time we chop it up, brother. I promise.
No, for sure. Appreciate you for having me, man. And let me know if you want to get in touch with some other people. I got a lot of athlete friends, man, that'll probably love to chop it up with you.
Most definitely. I appreciate you, man. I'll keep you in touch.
All right. I'll catch you later, bro.
Let's dive into this weekend's slate of games. First one we got. Vienna Vikings go to the Stuttgart Surge. Stuttgart coming off a bye week. Vienna coming off a big win. I think we'll see a re-energized in a new Stuttgart team, especially seeing what the Rams did. They're gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink at the Vienna Vikings. Vienna Vikings coming off a big win versus the Raiders. I see them just coming in focused. I don't see them letting off the gas pedal. I'm picking the Vienna Vikings to win. I think Stuttgart's going to give them a lot. If Dante Van Dieven can, cut down some of the turnovers, I think that defense can make things a little interesting, but Vienna's just too powerful right now, and I see Vienna just taking this one. So I'm going to rock with the Vikings over the Stuttgart Surge. Next game we got on Saturday. This is my game of the week. This is the game I'll be watching. A lot's on the line in the South. I'm going with the Ryan Fire versus the Barcelona Dragons. Ryan Fire just released a handful of players and coaches and just signed some players and coaches back on the team this weekend. So they've been busy in the transaction wire. Barcelona coming off a loss, obviously, is well documented now versus the Istanbul Rams. Two teams that are very highly focused, and to be honest, the conference could very well be on the line in this week if Ryan Fire can get a win. We're going to see J.J. Clark have a week of practice under his belt to develop chemistry with his guys and his team. The Ryan Fire's defense, they're pretty sound, and their secondary can match up with the Barcelona Dragons. It was a close game last one. For this one, I'm going to rock with the Dragons. I think they bounced back this week. I think that was kind of a wake up call versus the Rams. I don't see them losing focus at all. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now, and I'm sure, heading into that bye week, they want to get things, cracking on the right foot. And they lost a 2 seed as of right now. So this is going to be a refocused Barcelona Dragons team. And I think they secured their spot, not only in the South, but they secured their spot in the playoffs with this win over the Ryan Fire. Next one we have Cologne Centurions versus the Berlin Thunder. Cologne hurt right now, a little banged up, but they're coming up a bye week, so it'll be interesting to see the type of Cologne team we get. Berlin Thunder trending in the right direction. 3 of their last 4 games coming off of victories. Defense is playing well. That D-line is just getting after teams. The defensive line versus the Cologne offensive line is a bad matchup for Cologne. I'm interested to see how Cologne can get their players open. Berlin played a lot of 2-man last game with, man coverage from the corners and linebackers and zone cover 2 concept with the safeties. Being able to provide some embrace so they're not giving up the deep plays. They held Quentin Pounce to under 100 yards last game and no touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see Cologne's concept and what they're able to do. I think they lost a little bit of their creativity earlier in the season, and they become a little dry on offense. So again, coming off bye week, I want to see how they go to Berlin and the type of team that we're going to see going forward. Defense has been struggling all year, but if they can hold the Thunder to 21 points, and the offense can put up some points, because the offense has only been averaging probably about like 17 points over the last 4 games. So I want to see, Cologne not only complement each other, but defense, be able to not give up as many points and offense able to score. But ultimately, I'm going with the Berlin Thunder. I think right now they're in a position where, they're battling for that last playoff spot. They have one of the easier schedules out of the 4 teams that are in that cluster. I think right now their foot is they're all gas, no brakes. They're playing well. They're able to score, and their defense is stopping teams. So I'm going with the Berlin Thunder to win this game. Here we go. Frankfurt Galaxy travel to Wrocław, Poland, to play the Panthers. It's a trap game for Frankfurt, because Frankfurt definitely needs it. And next week they got the Vienna Vikings. So both teams coming off a bye week. The Panthers, they're trying to work their way into that cluster to see if they can find a way to maybe secure a playoff spot. They got a lot of ground to make up, though, and they're gonna need some wins, and it's gonna have to start this week. Frankfurt Galaxy, they're seeing that there's a window of opportunity, especially with the Raiders losing last week to Vienna, and now next week they do have the Vienna Vikings. It'll be interesting to see the matchup with Reese Horn and Darius Robinson play out. This is a tough one, because I don't think Wrocław does a good job of running the ball, and you really need balance when going up against the Galaxy. You can't just rely on Slade Jarman and Malik Stanley and those guys in the passing game all day, because I think the Galaxy have the guys to match up with those players. So this is a close one. I'm going to rock with the Galaxy. I think the reason why I'm rocking with the Galaxy, I think offensively, I think defensively, they match up better against the Panthers. But if the Panthers get somewhat of a running game, it's going to be interesting. But for me, I just think, the Galaxy don't get caught in the trap game looking towards next week or 2 weeks versus Vienna. So I'm going to rock with the Frankfurt Galaxy to win this game. Next, we have Istanbul Rams travel to Hamburg to play the Sea Devils. Listen, it's well documented. We all know what happened last time. It was a 70-0 blowout down in Turkey when the Rams went down there. this is a new Rams team. We're not going to see – I don't think we'll see that type of blowout. I think the Sea Devils are still going to win this game. I think there's just a little too much. But keep out for this Rams team because even though, talking to Isaiah Green earlier, he made some good points. Last time they played each other, they only had one American import. And it's hard to go up against a team like the Sea Devils that have so much power behind them, with just, all homegrown players and no baggage from imports. So it's a different Rams team. I'm sure the Sea Devils are going to, take this serious and not going to let their foot off the gas. But ultimately, I think the Sea Devils have a little bit too much on their side. I'm going to rock with the Sea Devils to beat the Istanbul Rams. But it is a new Istanbul Rams team. They will play a lot better, but I just don't think it'll be enough to go up against the Sea Devils. All right. Raiders versus the Leipzig Kings. This is funny because I feel like I've picked the Leipzig Kings to win, more of their matchups, and I feel like I've picked against the Raiders to win more of their matchups. I think, coming off last week versus Vienna hurts a lot for the Raiders, hurts their playoff chances. It's going to be a different Raiders team. Leipzig, hey, you got Connor Miller for a couple weeks now. This game is going to be interesting for the simple fact that, last time these teams played, they got out of hand quick. They got out of hand real quick. And the Leipzig defense gave up a ton of points. But now, with Connor Miller on the offensive side, I think they're going to be in a position where they could drive the ball more downfield, and they could cut down on their turnovers on offense. What Raiders team are we getting? Because, they were on a little bit of a hot streak. They got a wake-up call last week, but, I just want to see more from the Raiders. I feel like from a team that has such a rich history, rich organization, and for the team that we expect them to be, they should be – I feel like they should be neck and neck. I feel like Raiders should have probably be what are they, 5-2 right now? But, they've lost, games to Cologne. They've lost games to Vienna twice. So they're going to travel to Leipzig now and play the Kings. I'm going to rock with the Raiders to win this game. I'm going to go against what I've been doing usually, and I'm going to flip it. So I think the Raiders will take this game, get back on track. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when that comes around. Here we go. Our media guest picker this week. As I mentioned before, we have Caleb Leach, scout for the Carolina Panthers in the NFL, and he works with Your Belief to help kids help grow the game, get kids film out there so they can play college ball in the States. His picks this week, he has Vienna over Stuttgart. He has the Rhine Fire over the Barcelona Dragons, so we're going head-to-head there. Cologne Centurions over the Berlin Thunder. We're going head-to-head there. We're both in lockstep with the Galaxy, the Sea Devils, and the Raiders. So there's two games that matter for us, and that is the Centurions Thunder game and the Fire Barcelona game, which are two great games to watch. Don't forget, not only subscribe to the channel, I do appreciate all your support, but also follow Knoah Teamwear on Instagram, follow Athletes Forum on Instagram, and then remember, if we win or we tie this week, we are giving out some free gear on behalf of our partners over at Knoah Teamwear. So, hey, week 9, after this week, we're going to be taking a little break. I would say we, like it's more than one person. I'm going to be taking a little break before we get to week 11. So don't forget to enjoy the games this weekend. It's going to be good. ELF has been providing us a great product to watch this week. And, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the turnout is this week. All right. This won't be the last time we chop it up.
Nobody. Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it. Animal.